Hi everybody, Judy from the library, and we are here at Fruit Hills Winery and Orchards with David Muir today, and I think this is going to be an awesome visit. So we're going to talk a little bit about what they do here. They produce wine. We've already been in the tasting room and it's a beautiful place. We intend to go back in there in a little bit, so follow along with us and enjoy. Thanks. Hi, David.
Hi there.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
We're in Bristol, Indiana, and it's not very far from where we live in White Pigeon. So
no, not too far.
We have not discovered you, and I'm glad we did. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your place.
Well, we've got about 3 acres of grapes. This is probably the largest vineyard right here, but we've got another one on the other side of those apple trees, and then another one further out. So we've got 6 varieties of grapes that we grow.
Okay.
Vignole, which these are the Vignole right here, and then there's 5 rows of Marquette and 5 rows of Brianna, and 4 rows of Petite Pearl, and then the furthest vineyard out there's Frontenac Gris, a few more Vignole, some Traminette, and some more Marquette.
Great.
So that was our original vineyard, the furthest one out there, so things are kind of mismatched as we learned what we were doing and got a little more in tune with what you got to do to grow grapes, we started planting a little bit larger volume of specific varieties.
Okay.
So
you're, I know, like even in northern Michigan, they're limited to certain grapes, right, that grow in this climate as opposed to California?
Yeah, we've got very much limitations on climate here. We're not close enough to Lake Michigan to grow some of the European or vinifera style grapes that they can grow over there because they've got the moderation from the lake.
They call it like a microclimate or something.
Sure. Right. And here we grow pretty much cold hardy grapes. Vignole is an old grape, but it's still pretty cold hardy. Some of the newer varieties that we grow, like Petite Pearl and Marquette and Frontenac Gris, those are all developed in Minnesota. They're very, very cold hardy, even though they're not immune to spring frost necessarily. So, but they will take the winter, and the vine survives quite well. So,
all right. So frost. What are some other things that are not real? What are some other battles that you have to fight here in order to keep this?
In the Midwest, you always battle, the diseases, phomopsis and powdery mildew and black rot, and there's a multitude of problems that you have to take care of because of the moisture we have in the Midwest. But by the same token, once the grape gets well established, we don't usually have to worry about water in it. So
okay, and we've had such a dry summer. Is that a good thing for growing?
I think it's been good for the grapes so far. We've had enough water that they're growing well and they root deep. So
all right.
But insects are always a problem. We have those, and have to take care of those, and then you can always worry about the off hailstorm that comes along, and, and the derecho winds that came through the other day. But for the most part, most of it.
All right, can we get a little close up here? Sure. I want to see some of these vines. Where do you get them from? Where do you get the starts from?
It comes from a variety of places. I think this might not be a bad place.
This is beautiful.
These grapes are Marquette, and they bud early. That's their problem. They take a real good winter temperature, but they bud early. So we had that the May 9th freeze that we had, that everybody had. These suffered a lot from that. There's still some grapes here, but not near as many. There's a little bit better over there, but there's not near as many on these. You see a lot of places where there's nothing.
Okay, yeah. That's a shame. So,
but we've got other grapes out there that bud later that are just full.
Now, when will you harvest these?
2 weeks.
Okay. And what kind of wine will they make?
They make a dry red wine.
All right.
Primarily is what we do with them. You can make rosé out of them. We've got a rosé in the tasting room, but they make a dry red wine.
And will they be quite a bit bigger when you harvest them? I mean,
Nope.
they look pretty small.
Nope,
That's just
what
they look
wine
like.
grapes look like.
Okay,
Most wine grapes are not that big.
that's amazing. You wouldn't think there'd be enough juice in those little tiny grapes to.
Well,
It takes a lot,
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah, there are some grapes that get bigger, wine grapes that get bigger, but these are nothing unusual about these as far as their size goes.
All right. So where did you learn how to do all this? There's got to be a lot to it. If you're growing it and then you're crushing them and then you're making the wine.
Well, I made wine kind of as a hobby before we ever built this. We built
Okay.
this 10 years ago. But going from a hobby to doing it on a bigger scale, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also some other pitfalls that you don't necessarily anticipate. So I learned a lot of it with the School of Hard Knocks.
Okay.
And the internet. Google teaches you a lot, both good and bad.
Do you have help at certain times of the year, like around harvest?
Yeah, I have one lady that she spends quite a lot of time out here in the summer working on these vines, and I have my son. He helps when he has time, but he has a full-time job.
Okay.
So, yeah, my wife helps out here if we need be.
I'll work for wine.
Yeah, this is what we picked yesterday.
Okay.
Now, these are Brianna. See? And they always miss some out here, which is unfortunate, but we'll go through and pull leaves off these things and try to expose the grapes. A lot of these, before this was done, they were all growing every which way up in here and covering up the grapes. It's hard to see now because they aren't here anymore, but we came through here and pulled a lot of these vines down, pull some leaves off so you get some sunlight exposure. Also, they dry better. When they're all covered up, they don't get any sun, but it also stays wet on the inside, which helps the funguses and mildews and all that kind of stuff proliferate. So we don't like any of that stuff in there.
Okay. So you want them kind of dry then when you pick them?
We try to dry them out, and these
but they're still juicy. Can I taste one?
Sure. You got seeds. Now,
they're sweet, but then they're tangy.
These are a variety of grape that we actually pick about as not ripe as any of them we have. These will get quite a lot sweeter if you leave them hang there, but the aromas and flavors have a tendency to not be as good as they are when you pick them like they are now.
Okay.
So
what kind of wine will this make?
this is going to end up being a sweet to semi-sweet to a sweet white wine.
That'll be up Perry's alley right there.
I'm pink Moscato girl.
Yeah.
Little rosé.
We don't make this as sweet as Moscato, but they still it'll be. You can try Brianna in there and see what it's like. So.
Okay, I noticed you have a lot of fruit trees. Is there anything that you started out as an orchard, correct?
Yeah, we've had orchard since 1898. My family started planting apples up here, and at one point before we did this whole thing through here was all apple trees. We can see a few of them. The only reason those are left out here is because they're Honeycrisp, and I don't want to get rid of them.
Oh yeah, those are the best apples.
But so this whole property here was apples. Clear up where the winery sits, we took apples out to do all this. So, and apples are not quite the deal anymore. I mean, they've taken a lot of them out in Michigan too. So
okay, so do you make any products with the fruit, like any kind of drinks?
We make hard cider with it. This is what we use to press the grapes with. This lid comes off, and then we use, like I said, that hose hooked to the destemmer as we destem the grapes. They're pumped up into the inside of this. On the inside of this, you can't see it through the screen, but there's a rubber bladder that's about this big around and runs from here to here. It's like a big balloon.
Okay.
So we fill this all up with grapes, and then hook a hose onto the back of this, so it just runs on water pressure. So, and we'll run water into the inside of the bladder, and it blows it up, and as it blows it up like the balloon, it presses on the outside, so the grapes are trapped between the bladder and the screen, and the juice comes out.
Wow.
And runs out through here, and
well, that's pretty amazing to watch, I bet. We're in the tasting room right now at Fruit Hills Winery, and we're going to have a little look around here. It's beautiful, it's comfortable, it's safe. You can see we're all wearing our masks, but we wanted you to have a look at this too. It's a great place to come. So what do you have here?
Well, basically our wines are stored out here in the racks. These are generally the sweeter ones, and the ones over there are generally the drier ones. So we've kind of got them separated somewhat that way. Other than that, we've got our little racks of doodads and knickknacks and wine accessories.
Nice gifts for wine lovers.
Sure.
And then your tasting area?
We've got a variety of things, you know, barrel. This is made out of a wine barrel.
Wow,
So,
I love that.
The little side table that's made out of a barrel. We've got coat racks, clocks that are made out of wine barrels.
From local artisans?
Yeah, we've got a friend of ours that makes all these things.
That's great.
Makes those little things up there that you can put on the wall, and the racks over there on the wall. So
I see you've also got a video here. People are interested in the whole process. They can view.
absolutely.
It's cool.
So
All right. Well, we're going to head outside. Wow, this is nice. We're out here on the deck at Fruit Hills with Dave, and his wife Michelle is watching from afar. But anyway, we're going to try some wine. We went into the tasting room and looked at the menus, and we each picked 5 different things we wanted to try. So we've got little samples, and Dave's going to kind of walk us through what we're having.
well, since none of you have exactly the same thing, it's going to be a little difficult to go through each and every one of them. But basically what you're going to want to do with these are start with the driest one first. So in your case, Judy, you're going to start with the Tempranillo, which you've got here, and then we'll go to the Marquette.
Okay.
You're going to start with Pinot Grigio because it's dry, and you're going to start with the Rosé. So, and I'm going to have what I got.
Okay. And what do you got? What's your
This
pick
is
of the day?
Tempranillo because that's
Tempranillo.
the first bottle that came to hand.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a horrible day at work.
Yes, life is rough at the library. That's too dry for me.
Is it?
Yeah. If my husband were here, I'd pass it over to him. But, you know, COVID and all, I'm not going to pass it to you guys.
Sometimes you can develop a taste for some different wines, don't you think?
If you don't try something different from time to time, you'll never drink anything different.
Right.
And
Back in the Boone's Farm days, I mean, we've all moved on from that, but that used to be
Let's
our
hope.
idea of good.
If it was over $2, it was too rich for our blood, right?
And in college, Blue Nun was a big deal, you know. That was our fancy wine.
next, so you're going to go to the Marquette next.
So this is a red grape.
You're going to go to the Vignole,
Okay.
and you're going to go to the Rosé.
So the Marquette grape, that's not a grape I've heard a lot about.
Marquette is the grape that you've got. We were stood out there right next to them. The red grapes
the
out
first
there.
grapes we looked at.
Yep.
All right.
So
And that's the one you had some problems with this year.
yeah, we had some problems with it. they didn't take the freeze this last May very well. So
Well, that's
the
nice.
next one,
Okay, so I've had
for
these
you,
two.
it's going to be the Pinot Grigio.
I had my Pinot already.
You did. What happened to the Tempranillo? Did you do the Tempranillo?
She wanted to
I
go to her
messed up.
favorite.
I messed
then now we're going to go to the Tempranillo
Okay.
then. So and
I'm
you're-
not good at following
You
directions.
just
doesn't
had the
follow
Vignola,
directions.
right?
Yes,
So now we're going to do the just peachy.
just peachy. I've been looking forward to that.
So and you've had the Vignola. Oh, you've had Pinot Grigio and Rosé.
Yeah.
So now it's Vignola.
And you like this
That's the
one
one
a lot.
Perry just tried.
I liked it a lot better than
The rosé.
The rosé. Yeah, it was a little bit sweeter.
That's
This
sparkling.
is that just peachy.
Oh.
It smells good.
It looks
And
nice.
yeah, it is a little. It's not really a sparkling wine though, right?
Yeah, it's carbonated.
It is?
yeah.
Okay. That's yummy.
I like this too. I really like your red wines.
Is that the Tempranillo?
Mm-hmm. This has got a something on the after. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's kind of smoky almost.
Well, it's got a bit of vanilla in there, and it's also got some cherry.
Maybe it's cherry. Maybe it's cherry I'm tasting. Yeah, that's nice. This would be a really good wine with a steak because it's pretty heavy duty, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. These grapes came from California. These 2015.
Liking them better each time they get sweeter. But
They get sweeter.
that's
By
me.
the second round, you like all of
Yeah,
them.
Yes.
they're all great.
Yeah. All right, so next the rosé is probably what I should
Yours
do.
will be rosé.
Okay.
And I couldn't remember which one.
Make me blush. And
I just like the names. That's why I chose different ones.
Brianna.
That's a nice
Brianna's
rosé.
nice.
Yeah.
So the rosé is made from a red grape, right?
It's made from Marquette.
Okay, but how come?
We make 3 different wines from Marquette grapes. We'll make a dry red. We'll also make a rosé, and we also have a Marquette port. So we have a port wine in there, which is fortified wine.
All right. So the
Fortified
difference
with
in
brandy.
these two, the red and the rosé,
How
is
it was how it was processed and how it was fermented.
all right. Because they taste entirely different, even
Yeah.
though it's the same grape.
And you have Make Me Blush.
I have Make Me Blush. And I actually like that less than the Just Peachy. I don't know. It feels heavier. Is it heavier or is that just me?
It might be heavier, but it's got more alcohol in it, but it's sweeter.
I've got one more. The Moscato.
You got the
'cause I'm a
Moscato.
And that's the one you
girl.
usually really like, isn't it?
Vignola, and then you'll have Make
You're
Me Blush.
excited
I've got
for that one,
the-
I
I
can
am.
tell.
What do you think of the Brianna?
I like it. It smells more Concordy. I can smell. It's got a sweeter smell for sure.
But generally has a
Grape
bit of a
juice.
pineapple or peach or tropical fruit.
It does have a really nice scent.
Yeah, see, the Vignola is getting a little sweet for me.
It's almost like the just right amount of sweet. It's not too much, not too
Which
little.
one are you having?
The Brianna.
Okay.
It's kind of a middle.
I didn't
feels
try
like the
that
middle
one.
of the road.
Favorite is still the Just Peachy.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
a little sweet for me. I like this a lot.
So you've got Vignola left to try.
This
I just tried the Vignola.
fruity.
Did you?
It's a little on the sweet side for me. It tastes good, but
And that was the driest one I had. No, wait. I guess Marquette Rosé was the driest one.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah, this is
Make
the
Me
one I-
Blush.
Make Me blush.
It smells really sweet. Even more than the Moscato. That's surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do like this one.
I think I might get a bottle of this to take along. But this is a great stop for anybody looking for something to do on a beautiful afternoon. I would highly recommend
It's
coming
beautiful.
to visit you.
Thank you.
The wines are nice. The atmosphere is beautiful. So we need to have a toast this afternoon to our friend and longtime co-worker Luann Hackala. We'd hoped to have her with us for this event, her and John, but I think she's watching down on us. So Perry, you want to propose a little toast?
Can I?
You
Wow.
can.
To Luann, you're loved and missed, even though you're not here anymore. To Luann.
Cheers. Dave and Michelle, we've had a wonderful time here today. Thanks for allowing us to come out and spend some time at your wonderful winery. How can people find you?
Well, we are on State Road 15, 2 miles south of the town of Bristol, Indiana. Our address is 55503 State Road 15. Our hours are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Nope, wrong. We're closed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Our hours are 11 to 5. Friday and Saturday, our hours are from 11 to 6. And on Sunday, we're open from 12 to 5.
Perfect. Well, you will see me again, definitely.
Well, we
Thanks
thank you
again.
very much. Thank you all for coming. We certainly appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.